like purple underwear. He's like tripping on acid, and then he was just up there like making fun of these police, and they knew that they could do nothing with this person because he was out of his mind. It was a great show. But anyway,
we should go to the next one. But I want to ask you about the very last bit on this film during the credit crawl. It had some problems digitally, but kind of enhanced your contempt for Rollins? Was that what was going on?
Rollins?
Not Rollins. What were you doing?
I adore Rollins.
Yes, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to even imply that. What was going on in the last sequence?
I kind of walked out of the room. What happened? Kim was telling me that there were like I mooned MTV or something.
Yeah.
I sort of remember that, but I didn't see it because I went outside at the very end because I thought it was over.
You were very upset with that.
Can you say anything about that?
Yeah,
What, Chris?
I suppose it speaks for itself, I
What are you asking me?
guess. No, nothing. We should go on to the next film then. And maybe some of the stuff that you're describing, maybe that'll show up on this that you haven't seen.
God, I mean, I'm really kind of fearful about this next film because I don't remember anything in it. But I do remember thinking it was kind of as good in a way. I mean, as.
Oh.
In quotation. Does anybody want to ask Kim anything? No, she's saying no.
Anybody have any other questions?
Anybody want to ask Chris Persano anything?
How does he do it?
How does he do it?
Yeah.
What? There's one back here.
It's just because you hit on it. How many instruments were broken during this tour? Because I would freak out if that many.
And how much
It's like,
did?
how do you pay for that? So it's weird.
Well, the guitars are pretty, they don't really break all the time. And once in a while, something would get kind of like smashed, and you would sort of kind of fix it. I don't remember like guitars breaking all the time. I mean, I do remember when Nirvana first played in Hoboken, New Jersey, which was their first kind of East Coast gig, and we went to see them because they were a sub pop band, and but we. And they were just like traveling around like in a station wagon, and they had nothing. They had no money. They had nothing. They had like no clothes. They were just like these filthy kids, and they were great. And at the end of their set, they destroyed everything. I mean, I remember like Kurt smashing his guitar, and then like the drummer Chad, it was just like smashing his drums and Novoselic just like piercing the drum heads with his bass. And I remember thinking, like, how could they play like another show? Because they don't have any money. But I had heard that Bruce Pavitt and Jonathan Poneman at Sub Pop were kind of, they would hear about this and they would sort of wire money for them to sort of buy some more used guitars and stuff. So there was a little bit of a support system in that way. But I didn't really pay attention to like how they were kind of getting from one thing to the other. I remember when we started this tour, like we went to like an instrument rental place in London, and like we were in there for a while, like me and Leah and Kim and Steve, and we were just like really sort of choosing like what amps that we were going to use. We were testing them out, and it took a couple of hours, and we were sort of like. And then I remember like Nirvana came, and I guess they chose some amps too. But I remember asking Kurt, I was like, so what amp did you choose? And he says like, oh, I don't know. They just gave me an amp. Like there was no real. I mean, they just wanted to plug in and bug out. And I remember being really kind of. It was very sort of inspirational for me at the time. Should we move on before it gets before the cops come?
Yes.
Well, thanks everybody for showing up for this. It's fun.